Hi everybody, Ryan Ballengee with Golf News Net. Thanks for joining us today for another review for you. We're doing something a little bit different. We typically do shoes or clubs or, something that's maybe a little bit lower priced on this channel. But today we are venturing into the world once again of personal launch monitors, launch monitors in general, but personal launch monitors in particular. And we want to talk to you today about the Bushnell Launch Pro. Bushnell Golf, as you know, if you are an avid golfer, you probably have used or carry one of their distance measuring devices, whether that's a laser rangefinder, which is really where they're the leader of the category, particularly on the PGA Tour, or one of their GPS watches, which, turn out to be like great stocking stuffer gifts for a lot of people, or just one of their other distance measuring devices. Maybe you have their Wingman speaker, which I haven't used. It's a great product, really enjoyable to use. And they wanted to get into the launch monitor market, and they wanted to get into that market with a partner that had the technology that could kind of bring a brand and another brand together, one known for distance measurement, one known for launch monitor performance, bring them together, put together a unit for the people. And so they combined with Foresight Sports. They make the GC Quad. They made a variety of different launch monitors over the years, but the GC Quad is kind of considered right up there with TrackMan, if not better than TrackMan, in terms of being the gold standard for professional launch monitors used by fitters, professional golfers, all throughout the world, simulating equipment. Foresight is one of the top two brands, if not the top brand in the space. And so they got together and came up with this product, the Launch Pro. And the Launch Pro is a $4,000 launch monitor that's meant to be not quite the GC Quad, but close to the GC Quad, using very similar technology, something that's much more expensive, but putting it in a package that costs less, at least as a base price. So if you're looking kind of in a personal launch monitor space, you probably have some potential options here. You have, on the lower price end, you've got the original Mevo, which I still have. It's really small. It's radar based. I put it in my backpack. I can travel with it, put it in my golf bag, flip it out, use it. It's very easy to kind of get going on a range session with it. There are limitations behind that, though. There's only certain data that it provides, 7-8 data points. It doesn't have any simulation capability. It doesn't have the camera-based system that the Foresight Sports does, but you're paying for that. You're in that $500 range, relatively cheaper. Now, FlightScope makes the Mevo Plus. That gives you more data points, something like 16 data points. It's about $2,000 to $2,400, depending on where you are and where you're looking. You get simulation capabilities with that, and then you can kind of add on some other things, but simulation comes out of the box with that product. Maybe in between those, you've got Rapsodo, which makes about a $500 launch monitor. Earnest Sports makes one that's about $500. Voice Caddy. All those are kind of in that lower end price range. And then maybe in that $2,000 range, along with the Mevo Plus, you've got SkyTrack, which is probably the most popular product that our friends at Rain or Shine Golf sell. It has simulation capabilities, has range capabilities, works well inside and out, but particularly inside. And so if you're building a simulation bay in your home or a simulation room for the first time, that's probably the most likely unit you would purchase. And then you've got this product, the Launch Pro, which is more money. Again, $4,000 is a base cost, but it's designed to be basically the GC Quad that you could use indoors and outdoors. You could use it with simulation or range, and you could practice with it, and it's highly portable. It does everything that you need it to do. So how does it stack up? Well, out of the box, in terms of sheer size, the Launch Pro is taller and meatier and more weight to it than your Mevo, certainly, and your Mevo Plus. And that's obviously because there's more equipment behind it. You've got a camera-based system in it, and it needs to be a little bit taller. So the taller unit is also a little bit deeper, but has a nice handle on it, makes it very easy to transport. By no means is it heavy. Anybody can carry this thing. It's just a few pounds. Take it out of your car, take it to the range. Obviously, if you're setting it up in your home and not going anywhere with it, you're not going to break your back. It's not going to be any trouble transporting it or setting it up. You can charge it very easily with the provided charger. It'll last for hours and hours on a single charge. If you're using it in your home for a simulator, odds are you're just going to keep it plugged in. You never have to worry about the power base of it. And generally speaking, again, pretty easy to kind of move from place to place. The only exception to that is if you're trying to travel with it. So if you're trying to travel with it, and I think that's a rare case for most people, unless you're a professional golfer, this probably does not apply to you. You're probably putting it in your car, driving it to somewhere, golf course, driving range, whatever, or you're keeping it at home. But if you're trying to travel with it, it's not easy to travel with. Can't do that. Don't do that. Do not recommend doing that. It's not worth trying. But other than that, taking it to the range from my house, really easy to do. Get it set up. The display is nice. It takes just a few minutes to set everything up. It's pretty easy to read. You have a touch screen so you can input on it. It has an app that you can connect with on your phone or through your iPad and your computers, which you need for the bigger software, the FSX software, which is really what powers the Foresight stuff. But just on the basic display, you get pretty much all the data that you need about any one particular shot. And setting it up to use is relatively simple. Turning it on, it has a detection mode, and it uses the camera to kind of detect a space out in front of the unit. So you put the unit parallel to where you're standing, and that's very key to this. You have to have it exactly parallel to the way that you're standing. So if you are on a driving range and you're trying to move from target to target, but you're also trying to get data from the Launch Pro, you need to move the unit to where your target is going. So you're either hitting straight out only or you're making adjustments as you go. And even though the camera picks up a fairly wide space, and I would say the best range is probably 12 to 18 inches away from the ball and a little bit behind the unit, you still have to make those adjustments because otherwise it will not easily pick up on some critical data components that are important to this. And you get a lot of potential data in this package. So you need to be able to get good spin, good angle of attack, good club path, all of that stuff that this thing can detect. But you need to be able to be consistent with it. And I saw on multiple instances when I didn't line it up, the data was well off in pretty much all capacities in terms of spin, in terms of distance, carry, everything. So you need to be able to do that. And that's something to be cognizant of when you practice. Now you can use stickers for that and club stickers as well, which will help it detect things a little bit better. I did not do that with this case. I use the absolute base package of this product, and I'll get to explaining why in a minute. The outdoor product, the outdoor use of the product, which is what I would use it most for, it did struggle at times to detect the ball. So I would put a range ball in what should be the range for the detection. I would think it would have found it. I would swing, nothing would change. It would go through several balls like this. I would have to turn it off and turn it back on so it would recognize the ball. I don't know if that's a unit issue or if that's a platform issue, but that was a frustration of mine using this product, knowing full well of its capabilities. The other frustration in using this product is frankly the add-on costs that are associated with this. When you're buying the Launch Pro, you're paying $4,000 for the product. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. And if you want to use it as a range product and a simulator product, you want to get full value out of that. But you have add-ons that come at an annual cost that are really for the FSX software, and there are several different packages available. There's a basic level that comes with the unit for 1 year free, and then after that it's about $250. And it gets you a good chunk of the data components, the data points that the Launch Pro can measure, but it does not get you all of them. Spin, club path, angle of attack are among different data points that you do not get if you have the basic package. Then you have two options for annual packages that get you the full complement of data and simulation capabilities, as well as indoor range capabilities. Kind of a middle package is about $500 a year, $499. That allows you to get some more data and allows you to do the range and simulation for up to 4 players and 5 courses. And then you go to the $699 or basically $700 a year level, and you have 8 players concurrently, better cloud storage so you can save videos of your shots and your range sessions and analyze data, and up to 8 concurrent players. So you have an annual cost associated with this. And by the way, that's not necessarily untrue for anything else in the Foresight world, but it is something that you need to know up front before you buy this. And you need to do that research up front to know what you're comfortable with spending on an annual basis to have this, because you're probably going to buy this and you're going to use it for 4 to 5 years. And so if you're going to use it for 4 to 5 years and you want to be able to have the full simulation capability or even the middle simulation capability, basic level, if you're using it for 5 years, then you're looking at an additional $2,500 of cost over that period. Now you are in for $6,500. That may change the value of the equation for you. It may change whether you want to get this unit or you want to try to just go right into a GC quad. I think they're trying to make the purchase point lighter so that maybe the defraying of the cost over time makes it less of a burden for somebody. But you need to know that that cost is there. There is also an option for $3,500 to unlock the unit in perpetuity. So that would put you at $7,500. You can use the unit, get great cloud storage, pretty much everything that they have to offer, but that puts the unit at $7,500. Again, if you're trying to set up a simulator, room, or space in your home, a bay, maybe that makes sense for you because you know that you've got everything available. You're probably going to get software updates, and that's going to all work out in your favor. If you're planning to use this primarily for just outdoor product, outdoor range, all that type of stuff, I don't think it's worth it. I think if you're going to look at that, then you're probably thinking about the $500 a year range. And then you're going to see how many years you're going to use it. Maybe you trade it in, maybe you don't, maybe you upgrade it, maybe you don't, but you're paying for that on an annual basis. And that is something really important to consider in the cost of all of this. Again, having to know what your use case is really key in making that investment, or whether you're going to be in that really low end range where you just kind of need basic data in that kind of Mevo, Earnest Sports, Rapsodo range, whether you need something that's a little bit more indoor focused and just kind of cheap and accessible in SkyTrack, or whether you're looking for something that's close to a professional grade range or launch monitor, but with no knowledge that there are going to be annual costs associated with using it and that you're fully prepared to pay those, and you know that up front before you get involved with it. It's a good unit. There are some things that maybe need to be tweaked and updated with it. You probably have to update the firmware pretty regularly just to make sure you're doing that. You should do it with all your devices. Probably had to do that in this case. Not sure what the reason was for not detecting the balls in the camera range. But overall, it gave me pretty accurate data about what I wanted, at least from the limited data that I got on the base package. And I think that's something that's really good for golfers to have. You just have to weigh how badly you want that data versus the cost of said data. And if it turns out that that's not a lot, maybe you don't do enough simulation. Maybe you just don't go to the range enough. All those types of things. Maybe err toward the lower cost side of things. See how you like a unit. See what you like and don't like. Then consider upgrading. There are a lot of great trade-in programs out there from resellers, from manufacturers directly. You can take your original unit, that cheaper unit, and probably resell it or get it to a point where you can get credit for it and help you move up and trade up as you need to throughout the process. I think if you are in the space for a legitimately really great simulator room, you're probably just going to look at the GC Quad straight away and don't worry about any of the other parts of the decision, frankly. You just want to go to the top equipment, don't mess around, and do that. So this is kind of in a middling place as a product. You have all the capabilities there, but you have to pay to unlock them. And if you're kind of paying to unlock them, I don't know that that's necessarily a cost for somebody who's just trying to get in the space. It's just kind of in a weird middle ground. It's a well-performing product. It does a great job, generally speaking. It had some errors for me, but I think it's just kind of in this interesting middle space right now that you don't want to spend $20,000. You don't want to spend $500 or $2,000. So you're kind of in here, and you're in for a range of anywhere from $4,000 to $7,500. And that's kind of up to you about the investment you want to choose to make. But overall, really interesting product. Again, something kind of bringing two brands together. It's a little bit different. And I think it has a lot of potential to it. But again, having to pay to unlock that may be a deterrent for some people. That'll do it for us on this review. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Ryan Ballengee. We will see you next time.